Now, this could just be a me thing, but if I were to make a checklist of do's and don'ts for bringing back Luke Skywalker, or really anyone from the original trilogy for another adventure, the top of that list would be A. Don't make Luke Skywalker a deadbeat parent. 2. Don't have him try to kill his own nephew in his sleep. And D. Don't make the motherfucker suicidal. I haven't even seen The Last Jedi and I think that that's bullshit. And you have to know that your movie's in trouble when motherfuckers who haven't even seen your movie think that the way you're handling legacy characters is out of whack. That's like making Harry Osborn the main villain of your Spider-Man movie, expecting me to believe that he has a snowball's chance in hell at killing Spider-Man. You just don't do stupid shit like that. And let me be perfectly clear on this. I'm not against the idea of Luke Skywalker having a daughter, or having to train his daughter in the ways of the Force, because I know for a fact that Luke Skywalker has children in the expanded universe, the real expanded universe, provided that it doesn't make Luke a deadbeat parent. But this just ain't it, Slick. As for Rey's lineage, the obvious thing to do would be to make her a Kenobi. If not Obi-Wan's daughter, maybe make her his granddaughter. Now stop right there, nobody freak out, everybody put your blasters down. Let me explain. Think about it. In the history of this universe, a Kenobi has trained 2 Skywalkers in the ways of the Force at this point, and was indirectly successful with one of them. But now, in a role reversal, it's up to a Skywalker to train a Kenobi, one who happens to be stronger than she knows, to quiet her mind. Now you might be thinking, well wait a minute, this technically means that Obi-Wan Kenobi fell in love with someone and gave someone a child, when that's half the reason Anakin Skywalker fell to the dark side, allegedly. Obi-Wan shouldn't be doing stuff like that, right? And you would have a point. However, much like with Yoda engaging in lightsaber combat, and much like with Anakin and the Tusken Raiders, just because Obi-Wan Kenobi shouldn't, doesn't necessarily mean that he wouldn't. See Obi-Wan Kenobi and Duchess Satine, or Bo-Katan, Satine's sister, in the Clone Wars animated TV series. Not that animated series. But I digress. Or hell, if that's a little too racy for y'all, if not Obi-Wan's granddaughter, maybe make Rey the daughter of one of Obi-Wan's relatives, so she still has a connection to Obi-Wan. That would be a way of subverting expectations. In this scenario, you have Luke passing on everything he's learned to become a Jedi to the next generation, with the added bonus of the first member of that generation being a family member of the man who trained him. In other words, the son becomes the father and the father the son. Or daughter in this case. You know, like poetry. Seems like it writes itself, right? Well, not according to Ruination Johnson, because he makes a decision about Rey's lineage that negates any possibility for her development. Now, keep in mind, I've only seen takedown videos of the sequel trilogy, and this movie in particular, so I don't know as much about what actually happens in The Last Jedi. And what little I do know makes me shake my head at best, and is enough to make me triple Picard facepalm at worst. But for the sake of context, Ben Solo, who has renamed himself as Kylo Ren, per The Force Awakens, basically tells Rey that her parents were a bunch of nobodies who sold her for drinking money. That is in fact a lie based on what apparently happens in Episode 9, and only serves to paint Kylo Ren as Abram's second attempt at a Con Harrison. Shut the hell up! Minutes after he kills Supreme Leader Snoke. Oh, I'm sorry, did I forget to mention that? Yeah. Kylo Ren kills Supreme Leader Snoke, before we the audience can learn anything about where the hell he came from. We'll circle back to this in a moment, but yeah, thanks for nothing, Ruination. They did this because Johnson wasn't interested in following up on that story thread. But that's not the only plot point that Ruination and company dicked around with in relation to Rey. In The Force Awakens, she also developed, allegedly, a very strong friendship with an ex-stormtrooper named Finn, the only stormtrooper in the First Order / New Empire who's fast with his aim. They start off as strangers who don't know each other and developed, allegedly, into very good friends over the course of the movie. And instead of expanding on that dynamic or developing it, Rey and Finn spend the majority of The Last Jedi separated from each other. So while Rey tries to get some pointers from Puke Skywalker about her connection to the Force, and failing, when it's obvious that the Resistance need Luke Skywalker to come back and kick some ass, Finn, who is, I'm guessing, an hour removed from a coma, spends 2/3 of the movie being jerked around by a dipshit named Rose Tico, who kidnaps Finn for trying to leave the Resistance and apparently accuses him of being a coward, when as far as I can tell, he's just trying to get the hell out of here. And because of her dumb ass, instead of Mos Eisley, Finn winds up on a casino planet called not Mos Eisley. And yada yada yada, some bullshit about a codebreaker that results in nothing. Well, nothing good. Despite Finn having a crush on Rey, the movie also apparently tries to force a relationship between Finn and Rose, even though they have no chemistry whatsoever and she kidnapped the motherfucker, not to mention putting her fellow rebels in danger in the third act. Rose Tico is a terrible person. The actress who plays Rose, Kelly Marie Tran, got a lot of unwarranted hate for her portrayal of Rose Tico, and this has probably already been said, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. That's horrible and cruel, not to mention unnecessary. It's not Kelly Marie Tran's fault that Rose Tico is a terrible person, it's Rian Johnson's fault. Rose Tico is probably the worst character in all of Star Wars. What's left of it anyways. Yes, worse than the walking punchline that is General Hux, but that doesn't justify attacking the actress. They literally pulled this crap just so Kathleen Kennedy and company can pump up a ham-fisted romance between Junker Woman Rey and Kylo Ren, a man who, need I remind you, murdered his own father less than a week ago, had the nerve to accuse Finn of being a traitor while he's going around choking his subordinates and going through Empire equipment like it's a damn kyber crystal, and spent the past few days trying to AMF the ever-loving pimp slap out of all of Rey's new allies, including his own ass mother. A relationship that, by the way, is one-sided at best and abusive at worst, just so all those fake-ass woke numbnuts can scream their heads off like a bunch of schoolgirls who have never seen fanfiction before, let alone a live-action movie. That's right, I'm talking to you people. You who continue to support an abusive relationship like Reylo. You know who you are, and I've just about had enough of you clowns poisoning my entertainment with your social justice based on nothing overly political bullshit. You 14-karat woke asses keep insisting that Finn should have hooked up with Rose, or the worst offender, saying that Finn should have hooked up with Poe Dameron. And I know for a motherfucking fact that at least half of you clowns were only doing that because you're Team Reylo. And to those people, all I've got to say is the following.
Stay off the weed! Stay off the weed! Stay off the weed! Stays off the weed.
You cannot just drag and drop present-day identity politics into an established universe set in a far, far away galaxy that doesn't take those politics into account, just for the sake of pandering to a demographic that probably doesn't think your story is worth a damn in the first place, and just expect the rest of your audience to give you a pass. It's bad enough that Star Wars, in both of its respective trilogies, can't stay consistent about its own internal politics, and it really doesn't help that what the politics are supposed to consist of aren't communicated very well. But now you want to fuck around and bring gender politics and identity politics into a situation where it makes no sense, and hope that we're gonna let you get away with that shit. Just like with Harry Osborn becoming a goblin in Spider-Man 3, there is a time and a place, and this ain't it, Chief. On top of that, this trilogy is racist. Very, 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 very racist. And it's also a little ironic, or maybe it's a little insulting, that a Star Wars trilogy so desperate to break away from all those pesky politics of the prequel trilogy from a meta standpoint ultimately ends up being the most politically driven trilogy out of the three, but for all the worst reasons. I really can't stress this enough. The problems with Rose Tico as a character have nothing to do with her race or the actor playing her. I would think that race would be irrelevant in a far, far away galaxy that has aliens in it. The problems with Rose Tico is that she serves no purpose to the story. What little there is. The movie has enough characters it has no idea what to do with. Rose Tico serves no purpose to the story. And the same thing goes for Laura Dern cosplayer. And yes, I realize her character has a name, but every time I hear someone bring up Laura Dern in relation to this damn movie, I'm thinking, oh yeah, that's right. Laura Dern is a cosplayer in a Star Wars movie, so that's what I'm calling her. Laura Dern cosplayer. Keeping in mind, this is a far, far away galaxy that has protocol droids, astromech droids, faster-than-light spaceships, civil unrest between two warring societies of space samurai, cutthroat smugglers, pod races, a race of incomprehensible space rabbits, bounty hunters, Mandalorians, Wookiees, Kaminoans, whatever the hell race Yoda is, a trade blockade, political separatists, stormtroopers, a punk-ass politician who wants a galactic empire because reasons, this yee-ass haircut, and a bull prophecy about the one true Jedi who will bring balance to the Force. Even in a reality that has all of that, Laura Dern cosplayer makes no fucking sense as a character, or as an idea. And if you think about it for longer than 5 seconds, let alone 30, both Rose and Laura Dern cosplayer have some truly horrifying and busted-ass morals that don't really amount to anything or have anything to do with the story. What little there is. Oh, that's how we're gonna win, Poe. Not by fighting what we hate, but by saving what we... Go f*** yourself.
Let the past die. Kill it if you have to.
Oh, hope is like the sun. It burns you up. Failure is the best teacher. What the jeckified f does any of this bullshit have to do with the Skywalker story? If your answer was not a damn thing, congratulations, you have more common sense than Ben Parker. If I were Finn, the moment Rose Tico tries to kiss me, I would have said, 1, that doesn't make any sense, and 2, if you ever pull a stunt like that on me again, I will knock you the f out. But I digress. There are a number of examples I could point to for why this character doesn't work. The question of why she's here when Leia Organa and Admiral Akbar are here, her lack of communication with and/or hostility towards her subordinates during life or death situations, or everyone's personal favorite, the monumental stupidity of the hyperspace kamikaze.
Are you
Which, I'm not gonna lie, makes no fucking sense whatsoever by its own standards, never mind Star Wars standards. And quite frankly, it makes about as much sense as the Camino saber dart from Attack of the Clones that Mauler and his posse won't shut the fuck up about. Really guys, you people really need to chill the fuck out about that. It's a poison dart for crying out loud. But instead, I'm just gonna list those things off as a microcosm for why Laura Dern cosplayer doesn't belong in Star Wars. Period. Although, since we're on the hyperspace kamikaze, I may as well get this out of the way. Hey, Han Solo, my dude, would you care to explain to the rest of the class why you need navigation for light speed in the first place?
Traveling through hyperspace ain't like dust and crops, boy. Without precise calculations, we'd fly right through a star or bounce too close to a supernova and then end your trip real quick, wouldn't you?
Thank you, Mr. Solo. And that right there should be Exhibit A for why the hyperspace kamikaze can go f itself. Same thing goes for light speed skipping. And no, I don't give a rat's left nut if this is a movie about space wizards. That's no excuse. And also, no it's not, motherfucker. Why are you lying? That's a lie. You're lying. Why are you lying? Stop lying to me. It's not the Jedi way.